Anthony Wakefield sadly lost his life during the initial first stages of the tour, and once I saw the devastation of Anthony's children on the TV, I decided to initiate a fundraising campaign through the number of message boards that we have that are run by Coldstreamers worldwide. We raised £6,000 within 3 months, which says a lot about the spirit within the Coldstream community. Following Chris's death, it was decided to set something up more permanent.
When we first came back from Iraq, after tragically losing Tony and Chris, I wanted to do something, well not just myself but the other guys as well, I wanted to do something for the families of both lads. At the time we didn't know what to do, who to talk to, you know, stuff like that. I posted a thread onto the website coldstreamers.co.uk. I had all these answers back saying you need to get in touch with Franco, here's his number, here's his email address, and then Franco popped up himself and said, yeah, I'm starting up this charity called Coldstream Kids.
When I first put something on the message board about walking Hadrian's Wall, I was surprised how many people wanted to come with me. And it's gone through all kinds of different evolving scenarios of let's set up a camp down on a field somewhere and let's go walking every day. And then we all got a bit worried about, well, what about when we've had a hard day's walking and we're in some muddy and a bigger field? But no, let's rough it and let's do it that way. But then I realised the amount of disabled people, including myself, that were going to be coming on this. We have people who've had heart attacks, people who are diabetic, and people with spinal injuries. We've got all kinds of disabled people. Obviously Ian as well is severely disabled. So we had to find somewhere more comfortable to stay. So after scouring around to see where the best facilities were, we found the Gills and Spire Hotel. And I'm sure everyone will acknowledge that this has been a good place for us to stay. We've been well looked after, well received and well fed. Going into this event, it was important that we put a good infrastructure in place to make sure that we didn't fall flat on our faces. And when I was thinking of putting this together, and once I decided to make it a team event, I brought Ted Williams in, who I knew had good organisational skills, was someone that gets things done, will make sure the team get through it. And I think we can all acknowledge this week that Ted has actually really got a grip of the whole situation and driven us through this. Round of applause for Ted, I think. I'd also like to acknowledge Stuart, because Stuart's the oldest member of the team. 71, is that right, Stuart? He's put us all to shame this week. I think he's shown us all how to walk, and I feel like a geriatric now. But I also want to acknowledge, you know, I think it's important to acknowledge the efforts of lots of people. I think everybody on this week has been a winner, but you know, as I said, there's people that have heart attacks, people with diabetes, people like Dex, who I know very well, who, you know, is a victim of Northern Ireland, same as myself, and was severely blown up. And to see Dex walking this wall this week with the injuries that he's got, I'm proud of him. And well done, Dex. You've got people like Ian, who is severely disabled, and you know, he offered to come up and help with the logistics, but he said he wouldn't be able to drive because he's had quite a severe injury. And you know, so when I saw him the other day and he said, yeah, I'll be driving, Ian has been a driving force with the logistics, with Nobby Jones as well, who's not here tonight. And Ian, who volunteered his services the day before we got here, who lives locally, got good local knowledge, and Ian provided a base camp for the logistics team to go back to his place, make the food, prepare everything that we needed. And they have worked fantastically as a unit to make sure that the team were able to do the job, because without them, we couldn't have done this. I'd also like to thank Captain Patson for his efforts, and Sergeant Adam Brady, because they have helped me from day one on this project, and whenever I've needed support, help or advice on how the regimental system works, and you know, ideas on the charity and how we can set up a welfare structure, these two guys have helped me immensely, and I can't thank them enough. And I think it's testament to the regiment's involvement and to their commitment to this cause that they've come up here when the regiment's just about to deploy, and elements of the regiment have deployed, the fact that they've made the effort to come up here and be part of this team, I think it's a fantastic effort, and I want to thank them both very much. Can we give
As the welfare officer, unfortunately I've seen in the past 18 months or so, there is a need for this. The Ministry of Defence, looks after the family in times of need, or times when things go wrong. But there's a small element that it doesn't look after, and that when the family has left the regiment and they've fallen on hard times, and little Johnny needs a new school uniform, and the mother hasn't got the money for it, or whatever the case may be, there's always something here. And I think what's happened here is we found, again, a cliche, but it's a niche in the market. We found a need that needs to be fulfilled, and that's, I think, exactly what we do with Coldstream Kids. And as I said earlier, I said it 4.5 days ago, 5 days ago, the commanding officer is fully behind us. The regiment is fully behind us. So please take away from here, anybody that's got any doubt of what Coldstream Kids is, it has got the support of the regiment. It's got the support as a colour sergeant and a commissioned officer taking part in it. It's got a brigadier, a former commanding officer, supporting it. You couldn't get more support. This is the way ahead. It is a charity that is going to go from strength to strength.
Jenny and I are just hugely honoured and privileged to be with you all. It's been an absolute delight to get round and talk to you. We've been charmed by meeting Pauline and Patrick and Gemma and Lindsay and Mercy, and we could just go on, because what you are pulling together is an extraordinary organisation that will be valued long after all of us are well past taking part in an event like this, and it will be valued by our successors. And for those youngsters who go out on deployments, and for the families who have to support them on those deployments, the very fact that Coldstream Kids is there will be a wonderful comfort. And I think that that is a very, very special thing. But I do think that the world at large needs to know what you're doing, and needs to value what you're doing, and needs to understand the reasons why you started it. So, enough for me. I'm just delighted to be here. I think we've done fantastically well, and I'm massively proud of you. And I know that this will go on and grow.